one meeting a year I chair for a few minutes until we elect a new chair at the school committee. And the first thing we always do is say the Pledge of Allegiance. So if the Brownies can come forward, they're going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, ladies. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, very nice. So, Brownies are first on the list tonight to tell us what their plans are for your project. Yeah.
Okay. You guys want to come up with me? Perfect. So I'm playing Brownie Troop Leader tonight. This is Brownie Troop 66203, and they were charged with a mission to do something better for their community. So they've written a letter that they'd like to read tonight.
Can you tell us your names too?
So we'll start here.
I'm Scarlett. I'm Maya. I'm Hannah. Marissa. Courtney.
Nice job.
Welcome.
I'm Heather. And so they're just going to read a sentence of the letter.
Dear school, we are Brownie Troop 66203. We have noticed the ceilings are broken and the bathrooms are yucky. We also have lots of ants in our classes and broken walls and tables. We would like to help by painting some of the bathrooms. We still think the school is awesome.
Sincerely, Brownie Troop 66203.
So, yes, that would be wonderful. And, we'll get our person who works with us to help, Mr. Seidentopf, who helps take care of facilities, and he can identify which ones he needs some help with.
Awesome.
We also have some high school students that also help paint, and so they can probably, be there as part of the helpers in the project, so.
And do we need to pass this letter in to anybody?
Oh, it would be wonderful for the school committee to have it, yes.
Okay. Do you want to bring it over?
Give it to Mr. Strusky there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, girls.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Good care.
Now we leave?
You can stay.
That's good. Yeah.
So is there anyone here from Math Calcs?
You got my water.
They may be here in a few minutes. So we will next go to the Carver girls basketball team who's won a big award, and hopefully they're going to tell us about it. Come on up, girls. Coaches. There's a lot of them, but they're playing softball and tennis and on track. So.
Yeah, we had a track meet, and 10 of them are up there in Norwell competing right now. Softball just won. I think they're 9-2 now, so there's 4 girls on that team. And then there's also 2 on the tennis team, and they're competing today as well. So the numbers are low, but here we are.
So tell us, what you win?
They're going to make me do all the talking, right? Well, you guys can chime in wherever you want, but it's a phenomenal group of girls. They had a very good year on the court this year, but more so than that, we always like to say it's about so much more than just basketball, right? And what a lot of the girls did, it all kind of started in the off season last year. We ran 2 camps last summer, and one was for little kids and one was for more of like middle-aged girls. And we didn't know if we were going to be able to get the help, and we just kind of the girls all kind of just kind of jumped on board and said, this is for the program, it's something we want to do. And we were getting 10, 11, 12 girls every day for 2 weeks in the summer. They literally gave up 2 weeks in this summer to help sort of build up the program and offer these 2 great camps in the summertime for these kids. And all the money from the program from the camps went right back into the program for warm-ups and sweats and things like that. They also volunteered their time to run a little dribblers program, which was, get this, 7 to 8 o'clock on Saturday mornings from November all the way to February. they would come in and they would work with these little kids for an hour for about 12 Saturdays and train them up on a show. And then we had the young kids come into a practice where we taught them skills and drills and gave away candy and had prizes. So they did that. There were a couple of the girls that spearheaded a bake sale in the middle of the fall season during Election Day and raised $1,200 for the Zach Kane Cancer Fund. From the camp money as well, they gave $250 to the Zach Kane Fund as well. And it just goes on and on and on. There was a Taste of Carver event, and they had a ton of people in to raise money for the Zach Kane Fund. And these girls kind of opened up the gym and gave of their time. They had sort of a rocket event that the kids could participate in, face painting, foul shooting contest, all to sort of try to keep the kids busy while the parents kind of did the raffles and ate dinner and stuff like that, just to kind of get the kids out of here. And they all put in, 3 hours that night, like it was nothing. And all you have to do is just ask the girls. And when we started to really tabulate the hours, Dave Beaujolais, our assistant coach, it added up to like 700 hours. And it was amazing how much time they put in. We submitted it to the MIAA, and in a heartbeat, they won the award. They didn't even blink an eye. So we were really proud of the girls for everything they did and all the community support that they've shown.
What's the formal award?
It's called the MIAA Community Service Award.
That's great.
And they give it out to one individual person, and they also give a team award as well, and they won the team award.
Super.
They were invited into Northeastern College. They were given a free lunch. They had a leadership sort of workshop there, and they had a special speaker speaking, so they were honored at Northeastern University for it. So,
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
What's your name, sir? And
Coach Rosen. And this is Peyton Holmes. Peyton also has a sister here, Emma Holmes. Emma's going to be a freshman next year. Peyton will be a junior. And we have Indy Barrett in the middle. And Indy as well will be a junior as well. Yep, all great players for us.
And we're going to have a new basketball floor for you.
Yes. Thank you, town meeting, for that. I love that.
So thanks
thank you
for
very
coming, and we just want to thank you for all your hard work and making your future teammates and other players have such great summer experiences and school year experience. So thank you very much. And you know I'm your constant fan, right?
I'm one fan. So thanks for having us tonight.
Congratulations, all of you.
Thanks a lot.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. And you don't have to stay for the fact. So I thought we could start off with a few really fun things, and
Yeah, that
now
was fun.
we have to do the business of reorganization. I'm going to go briefly through the list. It's after the town elections, it's traditional that we elect a new chairperson. Our committee did not change, but this is the time of year we do this anyway. And vice chairperson, recording secretary, which means you have to take minutes at executive sessions, that's all that means. And subcommittees for policy, superintendent's evaluation, which is usually the chair and vice chair, capital outlay committee, which is usually the chair, the building committee, we have our 2 members on the building committee, negotiations, which for teachers we've just finished, so that's all done, not for 3 more years. There is occasionally a need to go back and look at something in the contract, if the state passes a new law or something, so it's good to still have names down there. We are beginning paraprofessionals, so we need to appoint some people to do that. Custodians, we'll have a reopener with them. Food service secretaries and bus drivers are all also due. So we will be busy. And then we have to, the chairperson plus 2 members to be the appointing authority for Old Colony. We just reappointed someone at our last meeting, but should we find another person, we would have to have the appointing authority.
Okay.
So I will take nominations.
Yeah,
for
I'd
the
like
chair.
to get started, if you don't mind. I'd be honored to make a motion to elect Gina Marie Hanlon-Kavicki as chairperson. So that's my motion.
couldn't wait to get on that one, could you,
Yeah,
Barry?
okay.
Is
I
there,
second my time, I'm all set. I'll second that motion for you, Barry, how's that?
Thank you.
is there any discussion or any other nominations? Okay.
Can I just say, I mean, I
Yes.
made the motion because Gina's been the vice chair well, I've been the chair for a year, and I've just seen how valuable she's been to me while I've served in that capacity. And we definitely have with different styles, but I think the board needs your style right now, and and I am looking forward to a break, so that would be good. All right, so but mostly because I am very proud of you, so.
Thank you, Barry.
So I will take a vote. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Gina, you're the new chair, and now that's my one little thing I do all year long.
Excellent, thank you. So let's move right along, and I will take a motion for a vice chairperson. May I make a motion?
Feel free.
Sure.
I'd like to make a motion to make Barry the vice chair.
You willing to do that, Barry?
I can do that. Yes. If you will elect me, I would be happy to.
Okay, well, I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Well, I would actually like, I think Barry could do a fine job as he did as a chairperson, but kind of for some new blood maybe, and would like to nominate James O'Brien. So, just because, for no reason, not negative,
Yeah.
just, I think like Barry, you mentioned on the way in, took up a lot of your time, and, I think it would be good to get some new blood, so I would nominate James.
Any second?
We can't second that with a motion up though, right?
Somebody different has to second.
And can you make two motions at the same time?
Not really.
Okay, so we need
So what we need to do is make a motion
So
to
we
have
vote
a...
on Barry first?
Well, no, we need to withdraw the motion and make a recommendation to have a slate, to nominate a slate, and then vote on the slate of officers.
Okay.
You see what do you
Yeah.
understand what I'm
So
saying?
then the slate would be, we vote for the two, because they're
So-
both.
Gina made the motion, so you should withdraw it.
I'd like to withdraw my motion.
Do you withdraw your second? Paula?
Yes, I'll withdraw my second, sure.
Andrew, do you withdraw your motion?
Yep, I will withdraw.
Okay, and there was not a second there. So now, somebody needs to make a nomination for a slate of officers, then we'll vote on each one of them individually.
And when we go and vote individually, will we have the discussion, or do we have the discussion before we vote on the slate? Because I have one question, but I don't know when to ask it.
Right now is good.
All right, perfect. So, James, I thought about that because I know that, I've been chair and vice chair, and I'm all set right now. I've got enough going on. I'm thrilled with these two. They know the ropes, and I think that sometimes having that experience is really valuable, especially with all that we have going on as a committee. I thought about you, but I know you're on the school building committee, and that's a huge time suck. That's huge, and we need you to stay there. So I don't know what your feeling is. Can you handle both? Because I'm concerned about my being able to get to anything, and I can't do that, and I know that.
Well, I have no problem with the nomination. I guess the only concern that I would have, as I've stated before, is that my time through my job limits me to be available for, day events, really. Other than that, I have no problem with the nomination at all.
So can you, all right, so you would be comfortable staying on, being vice chair and staying on the building committee?
Yeah, I don't want to, yeah.
Okay.
So now call for nominations for a slate of officers.
I'd like to call for a nomination for a slate of officers.
I'll second that.
And do we need to name the people on the slate?
Right, then you have to separately nominate people for your slate.
Okay. So can one person nominate both, or do we need to have different people nominate? Like, should I nominate Gina since I seconded her motion and James will nominate?
You can go either way.
All right, so I will second the slate with Gina, with Barry as a candidate for vice chair and James as a candidate for vice chair.
Okay, so then you vote on them individually. Call for a vote.
Okay. I'd like to call for a vote for Barry. All those in favor of Barry, say aye.
Aye.
And
All those in favor of James?
all those in favor of James, say aye.
Aye.
It's 3-2.
3-2.
So Barry's the vice chair.
So, okay, so the vote reveals Barry is the vice chair.
I wasn't clear, was that was your vote?
Me, I didn't vote.
No. Gina.
Yes, I nominated Barry, I voted for Barry.
Okay.
I have to be honest, I was under the same assumption as Paula, that it would be a lot for you to do both. And I was also under the assumption, and I could be wrong, but we don't renegotiate who's on the building committee, it's still James and Andrew.
Right.
So I had already filled you and Andrew in for a building committee.
Yeah, me too.
Not that I don't think you would have.
I hope
done
no
the job.
slide, I appreciate the
I know.
nomination, things will roll like they do.
I
Excellent.
think it's
There's
great.
no turmoil.
I know.
Honestly, Barry, I would love to change and do something a little more with it, but I really have no problem doing what I'm doing right now, so.
I think we're very lucky to have the 5 of us on the committee. It's been great to get to know, for me, get to know Andrew over the last year and James over the last 2 years, and I've known Paula and Gina before. I see what all 5 of us do on a regular basis as far as, studying and asking the questions and getting information and being civil to each other. So I'm very honored to be on the board with all of you. So that's great. And it was just, this is fun. Wasn't expecting that. So I learned something tonight about the slate. So that was very, very good. All right.
Okay, moving right along, can I entertain any motions for recording secretary?
That's mainly why I wanted to be vice chair, so I wouldn't get nominated for the recording. So, if you must know.
If nobody's, can I nominate myself? 'Cause
I'll
do it.
nominate you.
That's fine.
I'd like to make a nomination for Paula Kibbe for recording secretary.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Paula, thank you.
Oh, you're in the rookie.
Full
Usually
circle.
it's the rookie's job.
Okay, so subcommittees, we have policy and 2. Would anybody,
So we're going to have some summer meetings for policy. It would be at the convenience of whoever wants to be on this. But we're going to spend some time with Rebecca and Colby and do a thorough review of our policy manual to make sure all the language, certain laws have changed and you change that policy, but sometimes it's affected by the language in another policy. So we're going to do this thorough investigation of the policies. Rebecca's having some people in her office work on the ones that might be in conflict with each other, so we can then discuss what needs to be changed to make it legal. So I would say we'll work 2 or 3 half days or in the evenings. It doesn't have to be days, evenings in the summer to review them, just so people know what they're doing.
sure, thank
I'd
you.
like to nominate Andrew for that.
I'll second that.
All in favor of Andrew?
Aye.
We probably need another person.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's got a 2 there, right?
It does.
I'd continue if anybody.
I nominate James.
I'll second that.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 James, thank you. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, James.
Okay, so superintendent is all set, capital outlay is all set, and again, building committee, James and Andrew, do we have to renominate them, or,
No,
Okay.
they are already appointed and working.
and we don't
in-
need to? Okay. Negotiations, teacher and chair is, chair and vice chair. Paraprofessionals.
I'm just saying, if we need, I'll definitely do it.
I would make a nomination for Andrew there.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I want to nominate Gina for the second position on the paraprofessionals.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And can I just speak up here? I was going to volunteer for that because that's one I've never sat on. I've done all the others. So if you guys find that you need an alternate and I can make meetings, can we do it that way, Liz, in case we need?
Absolutely. Any
All right.
one of you can come to, that's the other thing you should know. Any of you can come to any of the negotiations. It's just, we have to guarantee that there will be school committee members there. So, but everyone is welcome. We post them and, you know, and they're posted on the town website, our website, so you should be able to see it.
Okay.
And I can also email you the postings.
Does that limit us to that, like if, let's say that it's Gina and Andrew, but Gina can't make it. If I go sort of as a backup, can I have input as a school committee member, or am I
And
only?
yes, any
Okay.
school committee member, and since they're all posted meetings, they're,
Okay.
you know, it's okay for 3 of you to be there.
Okay, all right, cool.
All right, excellent. So moving on to custodians. I'll entertain motions.
This is usually a 1 or 2 meeting event. They don't like to meet a lot, so we do need to meet with them, but we usually get it done in 1 or 2 meetings, so.
I'd like to nominate Barry.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, anyone else?
I'll do too.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll nominate Andrew.
All in
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, food service?
This one, if possible, should be people who are available in the daytime. It's just hard to, many of these people have second jobs and they're not available in the hours, so just,
Sure, I'm around.
it can be late afternoon, but it can, you know, some people work other
Yeah,
jobs.
and that excludes me because I'm pretty restricted right
Yeah.
now, so
So Ginny, you said you could?
I could.
I'll nominate you for food service.
I'll set, there you go.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone else?
I'm not around either. Anybody else around?
We don't have to have 2, but if we do, it's good.
I can try, sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
I'll
you,
nominate-
Andrew.
I'll nominate Andrew, too.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That was aye.
Like to entertain a motion for secretaries?
Can we meet at different hours on that?
Yes, we can.
All right, so I can nominate myself?
I'll nominate Paula.
I'll second it.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone else for secretaries?
Well, I'm not up there, so.
I'll nominate James for secretary.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And bus drivers?
The bus driver's contract we settled, James was on this before, was a 1-year contract, so we will be renegotiating with bus drivers.
And I would stay with that if anyone's interested.
I think it would be good because you know all the ins and outs of
Yeah.
where we've been and where we're going.
All right.
I'll make a motion to nominate James.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And we need, let me see, myself plus 2 members for the Old Colony Regional District School Committee,
Appointing authority.
appointing authority.
We can do those at night, right?
This will be at a regular meeting. It's just the Board of Selectmen get votes, 3 votes, the moderator gets a vote, and the school committee gets 3 votes. So we voted last week to appoint, last time we met, to appoint the one person, reappoint the person on the Old Colony School Committee. So when the next person comes to us, we don't have to all meet together. We can vote separately at the school committee meeting, so it's not a meeting kind of thing. You just do what they're
Be happy
appointing.
to do that. I can handle that.
Sure. I'll nominate Barry.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll nominate Paula.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
All right.
I did want to point out that the way we did the slate of officers, there's 2 ways. You can do a motion, 2 different motions and vote, or you can do the slate and vote. I recommended the second because I think there's more time for discussion without the, you know, so that I didn't want to make you think that was the only way to do it, but it's a possible way to do it.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, any other questions? No, everyone's all set? Okay, so now we're gonna take comments from the general public. Any comments from the general public? Mr. Ward?
Dick Willett, Chairman of the Board of Selectmen. I didn't get a chance to get on your agenda, so that's why I jumped up on comments from the general public. I came to invite you folks, the school committee, in for a joint meeting with the selectmen. And so Barry and I were trying to get communications and going, and it didn't happen. So Saturday, we finally got together and said, well, I may as well come over to your meeting and discuss it. Mainly, when we met before, which was just the school committee and just the selectmen, our department heads, or our superintendent and our town administrator went with us. And that was kind of how we felt the meeting worked fairly well, because we could be open in discussion. And so I targeted, because we talked about a meeting in May, the last time we met. So we tried to get some, but the last week in May is still available if you folks could do it. And I know there are 10 of us, so it's gonna be pretty hard to get all 10 of us on board. But if we have a majority of each, we can get some discussion going. And so I'm suggesting the Tuesday after Memorial Day, or the Wednesday, or the Thursday. 26, 27, 28. And we met at the town hall the last time, so maybe we could meet here.
Sure.
Uh,
If I can jump in on that, I'm always happy to participate, but my schedule is tough, and if I could just say, in general, Wednesdays are really best for me, except that week Wednesday's not, so, and my son is in Florida, so I'll go whatever night you guys schedule, if I can. I just, if they have like the parent night at Borndale, I don't know what night that's gonna be, do we know that yet?
It's not that night.
They used to do the,
Yeah.
dinner.
It's not that night. The 27th, the chief of police is planning
The opioid.
Community forum.
a
Yeah,
community forum that night, so the 27th would not be,
Okay,
so
is 26?
6 or 28.
Well, sometimes Thursday nights are more open than any other.
Yes.
Is that possible?
Yeah, I couldn't make the last one because of work, and I will do anything to be at this one. So any of those 3 days, I've already checked with the wife and they work. So anything for the group.
So
They were.
28th is maybe the best for you folks?
I'm good with any of them, and in fact, like, I think that the last one we talked about making this sort of like a quarterly thing.
Yeah, we do.
And I think when we do meet this next time, that we should try to be more concrete with our times and pick something, so we're not trying to shuffle this together like this, but it's more established for even
So
the year. if we're
maybe at
planning
this
for-
meeting, we can determine when we want to meet in the next 3-month period?
Yeah, just to limit that shuffling, maybe.
Unfortunately, the para negotiations are the 28th.
What's the
And the
28th,
20
Thursday?
Thursday. So
So it
that
looks
leaves
like Tuesday's the
Tuesday.
only one that...
Works for me.
I'm sorry to keep bringing
No,
this
no,
up. That's how the end of the year is.
No, that's why I came,
Yeah.
because I wanted to find out what would work.
Andrew, the 26th good?
26, yep.
James?
Yes.
Paula?
So we'll post it as a
yeah, I
workshop.
think so.
Barry?
Good.
Okay, good,
Good.
yep,
Sold, May 26th.
okay. So I will
7 o'clock here.
inform the selectmen, and we'll go for it.
7 PM here, is that what you said?
7 here?
Yeah.
Although the
Here?
seats
Sounds-
are much more comfortable.
Do we need to start at 7, or can we do a
More comfortable
little
here,
earlier?
yeah.
Would
No,
6:30 work
there.
for anybody, or
Would 6:30 work?
could we do 6:30, or is that too early?
No,
Well, has it been confirmed with the other selectmen?
well, yeah, I'm at a point where I'm saying we're 2 weeks, that's 2 weeks down the road. If it seems to be the best to go on the 26th, then we'll pose that as the day and hope
Yeah.
that we can get
It sounds like
as
we got
many of the
5 school
selectmen,
committee.
all of them as we can.
I would actually prefer 6:30 if people are.
Yeah,
6:30 is
Fine
fine
with
with
me,
me.
yeah.
if we could
Barry,
possibly
yeah.
shoot for that, Dick.
So
6:30
shoot for-
start.
If it has to be 7 to the
6.
selectmen, just let us know or something.
Yeah.
We usually, once in a while, we'll have some meetings starting at 6:30, and our people would try to make their work schedules, they could get out a little early if they need to come from Boston, because Helen has to come from Boston.
Sure do.
So, but the 6:30, usually we can work.
Okay, so tentatively, May 26th at 6:30 here.
Yep, okay, very good.
Thank you.
Now can I know I saw something on your agenda. Peter regarding the building update. Are you doing the update tonight, Peter?
I am on the buildings. Are you concerned more about the MSBA school building?
Yeah, I just
No.
thought,
No, I'm doing the building updates on what's happened to our schools that we've had to fix, replace.
okay, I'm
There is,
sorry.
there is.
Well, to the public, obviously, the school committee has 4 people from your committee and your administration on the building committee, so I'm sure they keep you folks up to date, but I thought it was important once in a while for the chairman to show up and say, you know, we got a very important meeting Wednesday, and Liz and I think the principal at the elementary school are a very big part of that presentation. It's a subcommittee of the MSBA, and do you know offhand what they call that committee?
It's the facilities subcommittee.
So our project manager and our architects, as well as our administration, is going to do a presentation to them about everything that we've done as a building committee up to this point, including the process of how we've worked our way down to one site for the school, so that that everything is the way the school, the MSBA wants it. That's what we're trying to accomplish.
Dick, at about 5:30, I got the final copy of the presentation we've been putting together, and I've got it up here if you want us to go through it real quickly. It's not long.
Sure.
That way.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So
I
this,
wouldn't want to go to the MSBA and not know what was being said and open my big mouth at the wrong time, so.
Meredith, can you help me out with that?
Yeah. good.
The purpose of the meeting is for the facility subcommittee wants to know what's driving our ideas behind how we design the building, how the architects design the building. So we presented to the building committee our educational plan in October of last year, and we've been busy refining it with the architects on how that will be displayed in the building. So one of our key components is our response to intervention in both math and reading. And we've been doing this since 2005, or a decade. And we continue to each year tweak it so it meets absolutely the needs of our students. And we've shown great success for student learning with this program. And we hope our new building will reflect the spaces we actually need, which is 22 intervention groups each class period, 6 in regular sized classrooms, and 16 in small group spaces. Next, please. So, whole class, fortunately with the wide lens, you can make all these classrooms look pretty good, you know? And the teachers do an awesome job making them look great. So whole class reading, every child has an hour of whole class reading every day. Next. And then they break into 16 small groups and 6 classroom intervention groups that are taught in their full-size classrooms. So you can see some pictures of those there. Currently our open plan building, because we don't have any walls, we just have dividers with partitions and cabinets to form the classrooms and small group spaces. So we have flexible space, but we are looking forward to some determined space which will have walls and doors. So we're hoping that our education plan shines through in our building overview, and that the building design will allow for further refinement of our best practice models, and that students and teachers will have walls and doors for all learning spaces. And when one class has music, the whole pod won't have music, because we're back to music on the card again. The learning environment will allow us to implement all of these best practices in differentiated instruction, collaboration, interaction, investigation, which are all enhanced by full access to technology as a teaching and learning tool. And with these adequate and flexible classroom space and a multi-purpose room will allow us to have project-based learning, student-facilitated presentations, performances. We foresee that we will no longer go to the middle high school to have our band and chorus, that we'll be able to, with the plan is the multi-purpose room in the cafeteria will be joined with movable glass walls that they can be one big room. and that then we can accommodate the entire, at least 3 grade levels at a time, being able to have their concert and performances there.
But can I
Sure.
make a comment on, I'm sorry, Barry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say that, there's a lot of talk about that, but I tell you, in a school, that's a really important part. Because where I'm at, we have a stage in the cafeteria, and it's basically useless because lunch goes on all day, and there's never an opportunity to actually get in and use it. And that ability to be able to separate it is very important.
Absolutely.
And, when you don't have that space, there's so many things that get limited from being able to do something, science fairs and music and things that space is gonna offer
Grade
so
level
many
assemblies.
teaching. Yeah, exactly. That way, you can't just use that one room, that cafeteria, it doesn't work that way because you're in lunch all day long.
Our stage is a classroom currently.
Yeah.
And when
sorry.
you said science fair, if anybody's ever gone over there to the science
Oh,
fair,
yeah.
you can't move,
Poor
it's
people,
hot.
Yeah.
So if we had
It's
that
grand,
multi-purpose room, I mean, I can imagine the flow would be significantly assisted, if not, you
We
know.
could all fit in those.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
So having said that, as I was sitting in a private event this weekend at the middle high school, would this elementary building replace what we use the middle high school for publicly, or, would it be an improvement over the current middle high school auditorium, or?
Not its size, I would
No.
imagine,
Probably won't hold as many people,
Mhm.
but it could definitely be used by dance studios and other groups on the weekends. I know that until the fire department gets their own new building, that they like to use our buildings, particularly in the summer, for training, so do the police department. So there will be lots of communities use, anybody can use the building,
Okay.
for purposes for the students, so that'll be good.
So now I'm gonna ask a question that I hope doesn't open a can of worms and get me hit. We have such a shortage of gym space right now, and it dawned on me the other day, we
We're
have,
losing a gym. Yeah.
and are we? We're not gonna be able to do anything about that?
No, we'll only get one gym, but
Oh,
it will be a full-size gym, which
I was
neither
gonna say,
one
we
of
really
us.
only have one gym anyway.
Yeah,
yeah, well,
it does allow for different age groups to practice at the same time, but we're going to have 2 teaching stations, which you can dividers. And so we will only, well, we could have 2 gyms, but the town would have to pay for the second gym, so that's not likely to happen, so. So, and really, James and Andrew just jump right in. So the architects will explain the existing conditions and the configurations of our building. And you can see Route 58, which is at the top of the screen, and the bogs behind it, and the trees. And that's where we are located. And they will explain this to the facilities subcommittee. Next, please. And they will explain in great length the options that we studied for looking at a renovation addition, which would be the first floor with the top left, the second floor the top right, and where that would fit on the site. Once again, 58 is at the top, and a reno ad would be right up at the front of the property. And you could, what they call the massing view, is you could see what it would look like from a bird's eye view, and it would be mainly in one corner of the lot. Turns out this is very expensive, more expensive than doing a new build.
Much
Might-
more.
Might I add, we have to pursue the
Yes.
renovation idea and show that it isn't our best option.
Yes, that MSBA makes you explore that. Next, please. We also studied a 3-story configuration on the lot we're on, which again, 58's at the top. And if you think of, on the left-hand side is Mamma Mia's over there, and the right-hand side is more bogs as you're going south on 58. So a 3-story building, some of the positives that the architects will point out is it allows for stacking of things like plumbing, in the bathrooms on 3 floors are in the same place, that sort of thing. Some of the negatives is there'd be different roof levels on a 3-story building because the gym has one kind of roof level. And we had no snow on the roof problems at the elementary school this past winter, but we had terrible problems at the middle high school because there were so many different roof levels where the cafeteria and the gyms come in, and all the snow accumulates blowing against it, and we spent a lot of time and money clearing it.
There was a lot of conversation about this too, I think. And much more negative came out of it. Dave came up with a lot of that, and I think even the architects, I mean, generally where you see a three-story elementary building is in a confined lot in an inner city area. And you're not gonna see that elsewhere where it's not necessary because it just doesn't make sense. Possibly in a high school to conserve and make it work, but in an elementary school, you don't see it because it doesn't make sense.
And Dave did point out that three-story buildings would require more custodians, that you have to have, it's the same square footage, but because of the up and down in equipment, you can't really transfer that efficiently, so,
Well, and there was the obvious, that you have small children walking up 3 flights of stairs
Yes.
to come. The one variable in this whole thing that's gonna be there for the next 30 to 50 years is these kids aren't getting bigger.
no.
So at the end of the day, we know that the size of these kids and bringing their book bags up and down flights of stairs just doesn't work.
Multiple times a day, because now we have them going outside, so we would replace going outside with the Stairmaster training.
Yeah,
you know.
times are restrictive enough, and I know that was one of Ruby's main points, was the time alone to transfer classes of students up and down 3 stairs is no way. You're gonna lose so much time on learning through that process. It's just really not an effective choice.
No, good points. And the architects will bring all this out when they present it for us next. And then finally, what the committee voted as their number one choice, the building committee, is the 2-story new construction on the left-hand side as we're staring at it now, which would be the north side of the property, that's Route 58 at the top again. You'd see a traffic loop, you see parking, you see an increased number of ball fields, and it involves the relocation of our existing well, because it would be, we have 2 wells, but the most prolific well is be underneath the new construction, so we would have to drill new wells, and we have test wells going in. I don't know exactly when, but I'm thinking it's either this week or next week, so.
There is some issue with the corners of the back building of the Irving K. Washburn with that, right? But they said that there was,
Right, because what they're gonna do is, the person who owns the property where the bogs are is going to give us a piece of the property or
Right.
sell us a piece of property. And so will allow us to drop the well down a little further, so we don't, the edge of the Irwin K. Washburn won't be in the zone 1 of the well.
and I think one thing that, I don't know how much we talked about it, but one thing that's important for people to know too is this is the starting point. Like, this isn't the building, if this is the direction we go, this is where we're starting, and I think as a committee member, it's a great starting point when we look at the path that we've gone so far and what we as a committee have looked at, to know that this is sort of where we're gonna start as a direction to come up with the best alternative is, I think is a great place to be right now.
This is a conceptual plan at this
Yeah.
time, and we can go at it. The high school site was eliminated because of the fact that if we built another large building to accommodate 750 students plus 50 to 75 preschoolers, we would have to put in another wastewater treatment plant, which would be in the millions. And by not building another building there, we can replace the current wastewater treatment plant for most likely under $400,000. So it was very much cost, and the police chief had trouble with the fact that on a constrained lots, if there were an emergency at one building, it would create an emergency traffic jam for the
That was
other
my
building.
biggest concern too, that day of the bomb threat,
Yeah,
really when it clicked, you know, well, what would we do? How chaotic would that really be with both schools there like that? And we could say that's such a rare example, but the point is, it would be the scenario. Yeah.
so after taking those costs, and then the other part was, if you can envision the tennis courts, and behind the tennis courts going out towards South Meadow Road, was when the high school was built, that was filled with wet fill, that it's you would have to remove all of that soil and put down soil that would support a building at that site. And if you put it on the other possible site, which is next to the middle school gym side of the middle high school building, over there it would be taking down the trees, and it's a more constrained space for in and out access. So taking all those in consideration, but the safety issue and the money issue drove the committee to decide that that was not a preferred site. So this is just giving us some information, and what they've done that's different than we haven't seen as a committee yet, but I reported, and you're gonna have in this report, that from October 1st, when we have our official numbers at the elementary school, until May 1st, the elementary school population grew by 24 students. And so, although MSBA will not let us go back and redo our number, we would have to start over at eligibility, which would put us at another 18 months or 2 years down the road. The architects and the OPM thought it was important to show that they can plan the space if additional classrooms are needed in the future, that they'll design the building so that it can be added onto.
Yeah, and that was a big, we talked about that as a committee a lot, that we need to be able to look forward that way and make sure that whatever we do build has the potential to be able to do that. That's
So
excellent.
these are double stacked, so that would, there's a potential for between 2 and 6 classrooms to be added at the end of each wing, or at the end of one wing, or what, it wouldn't have to be all done at the same time. We also have the happy occurrence that we have more kindergartners already registered than we've ever had since I've been here. And our preschool grew from 41 to 59 since the beginning of the year. So there is a significant population growth on the way. The class leaving the elementary school is 111, and we already have 113 students registered for next year's kindergarten class. And that's just all the people who really are on top of it and pay attention. But there's a whole group of people who, for whatever reason, they register, all summer long, and then we usually increase between 15 and 30 more students. So we're gonna have a big class.
The building inspector says the building permits are up.
Another sign.
That answers my next question, because I was gonna say, are those kids foster, or are they school choice, or are they actually people
They're children,
moving
people who
in
live
and
here.
staying?
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
great, that's great.
So the architects and OPMs listened, and they put this little addition. It's just when they place the building, they will plan for that, which I think is the best we can do. Yeah. Next. And so you can see what the bird's eye view is, and it does create a lot more open space for play and our ever needed recreation spaces.
That looks really nice.
Next. So, because of the way we teach, MSBA has a standard allocation of 27 classrooms, but we've designed 30 to accommodate this within the regulations of MSBA. The building size will not increase. We're just going to configure the hallways and the storage spaces so that there's room for 30 standard classrooms, and they will be full when we move in.
Great.
So, also, the way that we organize and deliver our special education services allow us to do that. It includes, instead of having the large dining room where you have 2 lunches per day, we're going to have the next size lunchroom where we'll have 3 lunches per day, but that allows the space to be dedicated to the multipurpose room, which can be totally separate. No increase in space, but just a different allocation of the space. This is what we're going to be questioned about on Wednesday.
I think a smaller lunch group would be much appreciated by anyone in that room too.
You got that one right. This you can't see, but there'll be a thorough analysis of the cost, and when we get the handouts, I'll bring them to the, James and Andrew, and I'll bring them to the school committee next. But we did pick the most cost-effective one. And these are just things we're doing to reach out. We're always on television, thanks to cable TV. We've had open house events to look at the plans. We'll have some more. We're gonna meet with the people who live in, on Chance Court, because this new building will be close to their property. And then there's been a lot of one-on-one meetings with people when they have concerns, the architects, OPMs meet with them. And then at town meeting, there was an informational package delivered. And that will be the end of our presentation. Ruby and I will only be talking about the first 4 slides. The rest will be done by the architects and OPM and anybody else. Does that pretty much cover it, Dick?
Yeah, very good. Now I know what's gonna happen. No, and I wanna make sure that we recognize Ruby is on our building committee. So she's a very important part. And every time you talk at these meetings and listen to the MSBA, they're saying your education plan is the guideline, okay, or our education plan. So it sounds like we're going down that road well. Now, what we're planning, the building committee is gonna meet a week from tonight, okay, and then we'll review everything that was said and done. And if we have some kind of little trips or something, irregularities, we'll work on those and work from there. So basically, our schedule is MSBA subcommittee Wednesday, Monday, building committee meeting. So, and it looks like Liz and Ruby have prepared their presentation well.
And Mr. Ward, those will continue at the town hall also, correct, the building committee?
Yes, the building committee will be, yeah. It appears that it's easy for the CCATV to be zeroing in on us right there with the different cameras and so on. So why
A lot
not
more
make it,
seating for interested people to come in.
well, you know, we have more seats than you have here,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
So that's okay. But we're coming over here for our joint meeting.
Oh, that's good. Oh, and it's live at the selectmen's, the town hall, it ends up being live.
Yeah, right.
So that's a plus.
So that's a wrap.
Mr. Ward, thank you.
Thank you.
And we appreciate all your hard work. Thank you.
No, it's the whole committee. So we're going in the right direction. We gotta fight for our new school for our kids.
We listen to the Brownies.
Yes, we did.
The bathrooms are yucky.
Yeah.
And there's bugs.
Are there any comments from the EAPC?
Not tonight.
Not tonight. Thank you. Okay, and an update by the Student Advisory Council and Captain's Council?
Not seeing me present.
Okay.
They're all plans boards.
That's okay. All right, we have the approval of minutes.
Well, I'll make a motion. Oh, can we do all 3 of these? Were we all here? Or shall I do them separately?
I was not at the first 2, so I will be abstaining.
I'll make a motion, one at a time then. I make a motion to approve the minutes of March 9, 2015, regular meeting minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And 1 abstention.
Okay.
And then I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of March 24, 2015, special meeting minutes. That's my motion.
Second.
Any discussion, question?
1 abstention.
All in favor?
Aye. And then I'll make a motion to approve the April 30th, 2015, special meeting minutes.
Second.
Any discussion or question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you.
Shall I go to communications?
Absolutely.
So, under communications, we got a letter, and Scott, feel free to chime in if you want to, about our NEAS accreditation. It's all good news.
Do you want me to come up?
Well, if you want, you don't have to.
Yeah, I don't feel it's fine.
Okay.
If people have questions for me, I'd be more than willing to answer.
Sure. So, we got a lot of commendations, that's what you need to look at for our report on the 2-year progress report. Then, we do have Mike Schultz to thank, the superintendent from Abington and I, 3 years ago, became very concerned when we learned that they don't actually query the refs for all of our games.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so Peter Schaefer and I both took it back to our athletic directors and say, what would be the process to change this? And so Mike Schultz took it and ran with it and worked with the subcommittee of MIAA, and they changed the rules. You know, democracy in progress, and Mike is really to be given a lot of credit for a lot of hard work, and now they must be queried. So this is a good thing, and we want to congratulate Mike Schultz from taking this to the level it needed to be to get the decision reversed. So it was a nice article in the newspaper about it, so
Cool.
thanks for that.
Mike,
Yeah, so just wanted to bring it to your attention more than anything else.
Okay. Enforcement superintendent?
Yes, so on the personnel updates, they keep surprising us, but I think for now, this is the list. The people who've decided they're gonna retire and, you know, enjoy their time with their families and vacations, etc. And so Janine Kennedy, middle high school science teacher, and Marion McGinn, middle high school science teacher. Marcia Murphy, grade 3 teacher. Jerry O'Brien, our reading specialist. And Kathy Snow, a grade 3 teacher. Dick Ward told me he had her in 8th grade when she was 14 years old. So those people are all retiring at the end of this year, and we congratulate them. Dinah Pierce, our nurse for a long time at the middle high school, is going back to school in a different field of nursing, and so she is resigning so she can pursue the different career field. Karen Schoen, who did work at the middle high school before we had a very tight budget year and we had to eliminate her position, then we hired her at the elementary school when another nurse left, so now she's gonna move to the middle high school, which is, it's a good win for her, she and her family, and she knows the students, so that'll be good. And now we're looking for a nurse at the elementary school. We did hire, these are reversed, Vanessa, no, which one's which, Scott? Is that right? Beckman is science?
Yes,
Yes, okay, science, and Vanessa is math, yes. So we have hired those, and we are busy with interview committees every day of the week, so for the remaining retirees. We had extensive MSBA updates, but if you guys, if Andrew and James have anything else to add?
I think that was a lot. No, we're close to, we dabbled a little bit last meeting talking about the financials, and that's something I think everybody will be all about hearing about. So I think, James, tell me if I'm wrong, what was the date that they were feeling that we were going to be able to confidently go out to the public with an exact breakdown, so a couple can sit at home and really come up with the number for themselves rather than just thinking and not knowing exactly what it is? It was late though. I want to feel like it was September. Am I
It's
right?
fall, September,
Yeah, it was
October.
September. So, that'll be cramming through, and we'll be talking about it this summer, and then bang, when September hits, we got to get that out to the public, and that's the plan, and so everybody will be able to know confidently what that number is, what their financial impact will be. But, so yeah, that was my only other update. We didn't really talk about that, so that was the one.
Is it a November or December vote that we're looking at?
We haven't actually nailed that down,
Yeah.
but from the time that the building committee recommends to the Board of Selectmen, the Board of Selectmen recommends it to town meeting, and town meeting hopefully puts it on the warrant, is a 120-day window.
Yeah.
So whenever we have the final numbers and we make the recommendation, we have 120 days to have all those meetings plus a ballot. So if we have the numbers in late October, we could be looking at a ballot, I'm sure, by November. So, but with lots of information in between.
Right. And I think that's the key that the committee really focused on a lot last time, was to really, that our next stage after we get in this, there'll be some committee work to do, but it's really starting to get that word out a little bit more and starting to really have those forums and allow people to get more aware of what's going on, especially more affected areas like, what is it, Chase Court?
Chance Court.
Chance Court,
Yep.
yeah.
Thank you.
And I think that's really gonna be important to its success.
Anything else about the building?
So Liz, you know what though, just to put something in real quick, and I will be brief. I just went to, I graduated from West Bridgewater High School, and they just built a new high school. And a weekend or two ago, they had a big event at the high school where they brought in all the graduates from the 50s all the way through to the present day. And it was a fundraiser, and it was a fantastic event. I thought they did an awesome job. And I think as a committee, that's something, you know, we had talked about. You're tearing down this building. There is a lot of memorabilia for a lot of people in this town towards that building. And I think that as a building committee, we should be making sure that we're trying to find ways to sort of keep the community part of that, and things that can help people sort of
sell those bricks.
Yeah, you know, there's always something to do. I know they raised a lot of money for the athletic department when they
Yeah.
did that, so, and it was a great idea. It was a very interesting event. It was fun.
We'll reuse what we can, but there's not much that will be.
There's not much, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good point and a good idea.
Thank you.
So now the building update,
Peter?
Peter.
Yes, well, as one can imagine, now that the spring has sprung and temperatures have gone from freezing to warm, I have a very extensive list. So rather than off the top of my head, I will give you the lowdown on where our buildings are as of today. According to our facilities director at the Erin K. Washburn building, we've had mechanical AC rooftop problems that are being worked on and were corrected today. In our building, we also have carpenter ants, and it's not a science project. They do come into the classrooms, and once school is out of session and there will be no children in the building, we'll deal with that according to our preventive maintenance program. And the third thing is the well pits will be drilled next Monday for the testing of the new well location, which is in the southwest corner of the property. At the Governor John, we've had a kitchen exhaust hood that was defective. We replaced it. We've had a pneumatic air compressor that was defective and replaced it. And we've developed a leak in the steam condensate return line on boiler 1. And once school is out, we'll need to shut that boiler down and repair it over the summer. At the middle high school, the repairs were made to 3 different sections of main water copper piping in the building due to corrosion. The hot water heating coil in classroom 234 was replaced. The chemical feed pump was defective and replaced. This pump injects chemicals into the water lines for the purposes of corrosion control. On Friday, with the help of JC Engineering, Bob Tinkham, and our DPW, there were perk test well pits dug for the new septic field for environmental testing. Due to the structural reliability and issues with the visitor side coaches tower, that was dismantled and removed. And all the shrubbery that was in front of the building was removed because of the excessive damage due to the winters and the record snowfall. So that is the building update.
Thank you. We also have a little bit of technology failure update. You want to talk about what happened today? Or actually Saturday.
Yep. So we have a couple different things going on, but a couple months ago when I talked about our need to upgrade our servers, they are starting to die. And so we had a situation where one of our servers is just completely dead. There's no cardiac response when we try to revive it. And we had a situation today where we were doing something called flapping, which is the network terminology used when your internet goes down and your phone goes down, and then it comes back on, and then it goes down, and comes back on, and goes down, and comes back on. So it was oscillating all day long. We have someone coming in at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning to the elementary school to try to keep that from happening, especially since park is occurring. So we made it through park testing today, and then that's when that flapping began, unrelated. So we're in the process of trying to figure out how to update those and how to make sure that we have everything backed up, because we need to definitely fortify that part of what we're doing as well.
They think that it was caused by some sort of major but brief power outage on Main Street on Saturday. That's the first event, so probably what's caused the sudden death, although it was on the list.
Yeah.
And we have a plan, and we know what we're doing, and we have it all mapped out, but it's just, July 1st can't come soon
Right.
enough.
Well, I was gonna say, is it tomorrow's park also?
Yep.
So is there a plan? Students tend to stress unnecessarily about standardized testing as it is. Is there a plan in case these this is not fixed.
Yes, is this being televised live? That's my plan, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we do have a backup plan, and most of it has to do with how our testing window is laid out. So if we don't end up testing tomorrow, then we can, right, we can do it a different day, but we have every confidence that we'll be able to get it up. And part of that has to do with how Park is situated with the server, but it was definitely cutting out between the elementary campus and the middle high school campus. And so we were trying to figure out if it was something related to Comcast or some sort of construction issue in between the two. And it really ended up having to do with power outage and the way that the servers reboot. So we're hopefully going to get that fixed in the morning.
We have the experts coming tomorrow morning, but you're right, kids will be worried that they can take it a different day. So, you know,
We'll keep them out of the loop.
yeah. So, as required, we have to look at the Reed's Collaborative budget hearing. It's under D2D. And so the budget hearing for our collaborative will be held on June 18th at 6:30 p.m. But the executive director is required, if you so wish, to come to our school committee and hear the budget. I am on the budget committee. I have reviewed the budget. I go to all the meetings. I can assure you that it's a very well thought out, and it represents a very small increase, about 1.5% to Carver for next year. So, but if you want them to come here, you know, Teresa will come and do the budget presentation. And as soon as it's made, the final copy is given to me, I will forward it to the school committee. But you're allowed to waive the right to have the executive director come. So this should be a little discussion, and then a motion. You decide whether or not you want a budget.
They've never come in the past,
No.
right? And I know you do look at it thoroughly, and so
Yep.
we've always relied on your judgment. So I am in favor of waiving it.
Paula?
Yeah, I'm in favor of waiving it. I am, you know, I think if Liz weren't so involved, I might want to know some more, but I trust Liz, and I don't really need to spend more time looking at other budgets.
James?
I know Teresa, and I have some work with Reed, so I'm pretty comfortable with the way.
Andrew?
Are we able really, if she did come, to really impact anything? You know, I don't want to, you know, kind of waste anyone's time. What's your feeling?
Individual school committees can vote yet up or down on the, but unless all of them voted, you
Okay.
know, and it's just like us. The Reed's board, which is all the superintendents, has the line item authority. So the individual school committees appoint me to take on your responsibility.
Okay. So, I'm good, you know.
Okay.
So you need a motion? Is
I
that
would
it?
love a motion.
All right, I'll do my best. So I make a motion to waive the requirement of a presentation at our school committee meeting from Reed's Collaborative.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's a question of, like, if anyone was interested, they could get a copy of that.
Absolutely.
presentation.
I will check to see if the one I have is the final because the budget committee met, but then I had an MSBA meeting on the last day, so I didn't go to the last meeting. But I assume it's the same one. I can probably email it to you in the next few days.
That'd be great, thank you.
Yeah.
Excuse me, James, were you the second on that? Or
I was.
Andrew, it was
No,
Andrew.
And we're all in favor?
Yes.
And then I could, if I changed my mind and I wanted to go see it, I could go see it on June 18th.
Yes, absolutely.
Myself, right?
Anyone can go see it.
That's right in Middleborough?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
It's at the Reed's Collaborative Building. The only big difference is they're changing their rate structure for deaf and hard of hearing students because the interpreters have to have a different type of license, and that license now, by law, and that license commands a salary that's almost double of what we're paying now for interpreters. So that's the only big change. It does not affect Carver whatsoever. We don't have anybody in that program. we do this year, but that person's graduated, so we won't have any.
So we presently have one person one student in the collaborative?
No, we have like 8 students that go to various programs in the collaborative, but just one who's deaf and hard of hearing.
Okay.
That's the only big change in the budget. So the next is the enrollment, and we give it to you every month, but I just wanted to bring to your attention the October 1 numbers at the elementary school. The reason the September 1 numbers are low is kindergarten and preschool doesn't start that first week of school. They come in on a rolling basis. So October 1, we had a total of 780 students, 87 students. And on the last day of April, May 1st, we have 811. And that's the first time it's a 3.3% gain, which is pretty significant. And these are people moving into Carver. Ruby can tell you, 5 in 1 week the day before the test starts,
Yeah.
So.
Well, we all know, honestly, it is a great town to live in, and it's practical, I think, where the average family can afford it and get an excellent education, so why not? Like I say, I'm not running the numbers for the MSBA, but just anecdotally and talking to people like Mr. Ward, bog owners, it seems like it's gonna be a boom in the short term and long term, so that's why I appreciate whatever you guys do to get that building configured correctly so it can accommodate all the new people moving in.
And as Dick Ward pointed out, they have granted more permits than they ever have. And there's 10 housing permits that are for a small subdivision for 3 and 4 bedroom houses. So this could add 25 kids in a heartbeat at a minute.
Where was that one?
I don't know where it is.
Oh, okay.
But Mr. Wood went to some meeting, he told me that, could happen, they could be done as soon as the beginning of school. So, it's more than we've seen in a long time, so there's a lot going on. And that's all I have until we get to field trips. Oh, did you want to talk about the calendar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we do the district review awaiting a report? Completing the awaiting report?
No, I did skip over that, but did you want to talk about the calendar after that? Then?
Sure.
All right, so the district review team, 5 people came and went. They were here for Tuesday through Friday. They were in meetings with us constantly all day long. And their whole idea is they triangulate the data. They ask me something, they ask the school committee something, they ask the principals or the teachers union or other employees, and they see somewhere in the middle, they determine what the practice actually is by the triangulation of the data. So they gave us emerging themes. First they met with me on Friday, and they had 12 commendations, which in my reports from other superintendents, it hasn't been so nice. They were mainly fault finding. So I was very encouraged. They had some very good positive comments about some changes that we could make and to make a better environment for our students. And so we await their final report. And of course, one of the things they said that they really believed that all the constituents in the town really wanted the new elementary school, that no matter who, they talked to people in the town as well as town government as well as us, and that it was their consensus that everyone was behind the school. So that was a positive outcome. They said if food was a standard, we won it overall because our culinary students provided excellent fresh food every single day and very healthy choices. And they were completely overwhelmed by the good food, so that was nice. And one of the gentlemen came up to me the first day, he says, the food's so healthy, but we could have a little chocolate in the afternoon, because they told me no dessert. So I said, Anne Marie, would you mind running to Shaw's and getting some chocolate? She did.
Thanks, Emery.
So we gave them a few little Hershey's Kisses or whatever. So it was time consuming. Meredith did an awesome job uploading hundreds of pages of documents. The teachers, principals, everybody really committed to doing this. You all came and met with them. The purpose of their visit is once every 7 years or so, they try to visit every school district, and it's a comprehensive review outside of, they talk to special ed, but we had the coordinated program review recently for Title I, civil rights and special ed. So usually they follow each other. So once you have one of those, you know you're getting, and they're every 7 years as well. So it was not painful, but it was very time consuming. Anyone else want to comment?
I mean, even the short time that we spent with them, it was, the hour went by quick, and they were very thorough in their probing. So it was, I'm sure they got a lot of good information from with the triangulation that you spoke about. So I enjoyed it as
That
well.
final report, is that the part of next meeting, or it won't be here by then?
So they said 3 weeks. However, Rockland, it took 7 months. Whitman-Hanson still doesn't have theirs. So it could be, and that their visits were months ago. So, however, they reorganized this department. And one of their goals is to be more efficient, more effective in the turnaround. So maybe it will be 3 weeks. They emailed me all last week, all over the weekend. I mean, this past weekend with more questions they had, so.
They did have someone taking notes on a laptop too, so who knows, maybe that's part of their change.
Yeah.
Get that.
But, we will share it with the school committee as soon as we get it.
Excellent. Okay, so we can review the calendar. And it seems to be going to be a busy end of the year. We have the annual retirement reception. And then we have convocation, graduation, lots of bands, spelling bees. I invite all the school committee members, if you would like to attend any of these, to feel free and drop by. I know in years past I have. I actually went to the spelling bee before my daughter was even in school, and it was riveting.
That's right.
Any questions or discussions about the calendar?
I do like getting this calendar. I think we get it every periodically. It really helps me kind of focus on where I can go, because as we know, we all have commitments, but this is great. I hope to attend some of these, Gina, so thank you.
Excellent, thank you.
Music's tomorrow night, the high school.
Oh my gosh, already?
Yeah.
May 11th to May 12th, high school spring concert, okay.
It just happens from now on out, there's something every single night, so.
And Mr. Neef, we have mobilizing the community next week, right? The 20th at 6:30 at the library? So I know there's been a lot of talk on Facebook about that, so for anybody watching that wants to know about that.
Thank you. Okay, we're up to the professional culture goal 4.
We don't have anything to report now. We are busy, we are evaluating, we surveyed the teachers for their professional development needs, and Meredith and I will be working with the professional development committee and coming up with our plan for next year, but you'll probably get it in September. So there's other things we can report, but that's for that.
Recommendations from the superintendent?
So we have 2 big trips planned for next year. One is to Spain, the language students, April 2016. Yeah. And one, I've been with the students on that trip, and it's awesome.
I bet.
It hasn't gone in the last few years. It's difficult to get the amount of students to go every year that makes the cost reasonable,
Was there an interest this year? Is that why
They try every year and see when they get a critical mass. Scott and I will be giving you a report on our wonderful experience in China, where we visited 4 schools, and we're hoping that maybe we'll spark some interest to do some more educational travel for our teachers and students in parts of the world that we've really never been before. Scott and I both ate things we never knew we'd eat. Saw the Great Wall.
And you're still alive.
and met a lot of amazing people. I have to say, I think I've never felt so welcomed in a country. Everyone wanted to meet us. Everyone wanted to talk to us. We were standing in line one night to ride the boat down what they call the Bund, or the riverside. And it's all lit up like Times Square. And there was a group of tourists in Shanghai from Mongolia, and they were just so excited. They'd never seen Westerners, never seen Americans, and we were like snaking in this line, and they kept high-fiving us, talking to us in Chinese, and it was just this amazing experience. So
They broke our applause, about 500 people.
Yes.
They were applauding us.
No kidding.
just because we were
That's
there.
because they thought Scott was a retired NBA player.
There were lots of pictures with tall people. Scott had a couple other tall
Tall
friends.
people and blonde people.
Yeah.
Very interesting blonde hair.
And for some reason, this group from Mongolia thought I was from Brazil, and I said, no, I'm from United States, no, Brazil. I got someone to tell them that in Chinese. No, you're from Brazil. Because I wish I spoke Portuguese.
Are we grouping these or are they separate?
Well, I think we can group them together.
All right, I'll make the motion to approve the 2 field trips to Spain in April 2016 and Washington DC in November 2015.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So as every year, we're able to offer school choice, and I have to tell you that it's built into our budget that we will have school choice. So we've had some amazing experiences with students, people who are trying to buy homes or build homes in Carver, and they really want to start their children here, and people who just want to come here because we have such a great program. So I highly recommend that we approve school choice for 2016.
I'll make a motion to approve school choice for the 12 slots in kindergarten in the school year 2016.
And second.
Any discussion?
You know, I see I know that we've got it into the budget, and I guess it's just, I want to stick with what we're doing, but I guess I have concerns now, looking at the growth that we've been seeing, and making sure we're not, only biting off more than we can chew for financial purpose, in a way, I guess.
Well, so far it hasn't been a barrier, because when you have 6 classrooms, that only means that there's 2 additional students in each classroom. So we do have the kindergarten, we have aides in every classroom, so the biggest class is 22. Having said that, it brings in, we have school choice students all the way through 3rd grade, next year will be 4th grade. And it brings in enough money, we could hire an additional teacher if we had to.
Well, I guess that's what my concern is. If you're saying it's 22 now, looking at the numbers that we have, but our numbers for next year appear to be a lot more than that, what is that going to do to the class size?
So I'm projecting that we'll have 145 students in kindergarten with school choice. So we probably, at 22 students. If we have to, if we get more, we'll just have to hire another teacher.
Okay.
I mean, it brings in the revenue, but it wouldn't cause us to hire a teacher. It would be if we got
More.
Okay.
Or would it be something that we discuss taking off in 2017 when we start the budget for that year?
Right.
So
That's
it's
the
not-
time, you're right, that's the time to
So
discuss
it's
it.
not something we need to,
We-
decide now per se. I mean, a good question, I get it, I know why you asked it, but we also have that option to have that discussion as we're
Absolutely,
starting.
but it should be part of the budget process
Right.
because it's there that we make the real decision.
Yeah, I just think it's important we talk through all these decisions,
I do too.
and put the stuff out there that needs to be out there.
Yeah,
The problem is we haven't experienced this huge population
Right.
growth in so long, and
Right.
school choice really saved us,
But I mean, if that's a sign where it's going right now, we're looking at building a new school,
Then we
that
should
enticement tends
definitely
to grow,
rethink
you
it.
know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely rethink it if we continue to grow. So we need did you get a motion?
Mhm.
Second?
Yep.
Any second.
We had a discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
And then the last thing is to appoint me to the Board of Directors of Reeds.
I will make a motion to appoint Superintendent Sorrell to the Board of Directors for Reed's Collaborative.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we have the reports from the school committee. Does anybody have anything to report?
Can I just say something,
Absolutely.
Madam Chairman, Madam Chairperson? So I'm glad we have this calendar because it'll help me visit some of these events over the next month. So I didn't have any school-sponsored things, but I recently attended a private dance recital, and which of course a lot of young ladies and boys from Carver participated in, and just so impressed with the work ethic to get to where they had to get to be good at the dancing. And it just reminded me of how hard our kids work across the board, whether it's culinary or sports or academics. And it just makes me proud to be part of this committee. This is, like I say, the small impact we have on it. Of course, the teachers and the rest of the staff have such a huge impact. But it's just, I mean, we all have young kids. I have a young daughter. It just, to watch them grow and blossom in the environment that we provided here in Carver, again, makes me proud not only of the kids, but of all the parents and people of the town. And we got to keep doing what we're doing. So I just want to mention what a great honor it was. And even the responsiveness, the facilities that we have, they're not state-of-the-art, but they get the job done. And when they need to be tweaked, we have people like the superintendent and Dave Siedentop and Peter Gray, keeping an eye. It was like the grand finale of the speech here.
There you go.
The whole gang, works together, and the crew, the custodial staff, etc. Really, it's a team effort across the board, and very proud. Packed crowds this weekend. I'm sure another dance recitals next weekend, but it's just the whole community comes together, and it's fantastic. So thank you.
Thank you, Barry. Andrew, James, Paula? No? I do have a little something that I would like to say. At our last school committee meeting, it was a town committee meeting, and the Board of Selectmen and the school committee are really strongly working together to come with a combined effort for the snow removal funds. So I just want to keep everybody informed that we are continuing to work together and to go in a positive direction. All right.
That's good to hear. Thank you.
You're welcome. If there is no other discussion or comments, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
James, all in favor?
Aye. Record break in time.